Welcome back. I'm back working on the Mustang, taking care of the engine bay and the suspension. Okay, I've talked before about these side panels, how I'm going to patch in some parts and probably replace the rear one, but I'm trying to look at this kind of holistically. I do want to attack everything in the engine bay all at once, so strip out the entire suspension parts, remove all this. I've got replacements for a lot of that. I've got a replacement Borgson box that I'm going to use, steering column, etc. So I really want to get everything out of the engine bay, strip everything down, and see what I'm working with before I start replacing things onesie-twosie. So I think my first step to get it out of the way is to remove this power steering ram and everything. And I think I'm just going to disconnect it here and at the, I don't know all the part names, but disconnect it here, over here, and then similarly remove it from the steering box and disconnect it over here as well. I think I can pull everything off. I've got a couple of pickling forks and a hammer to remove everything. Like I said, all this power steering is going to be replaced. Okay, I got the power steering rack and engine mounts out. Everything on the driver's side is so much easier to remove because over the years it's just been doused with power steering fluid from those leaky hoses. I got everything over here in a bucket. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. I'm going to start focusing on the suspension now. Okay, I picked this kit up a while ago, and I've only really put it to good use just now. But it is essentially every tool you'll need to disassemble the joints of all your linkages and everything else. I think I used 3 of these tools and it made really quick work of everything. So I will go ahead and put a link in the description, because if you're doing this and you don't have some of these tools at hand, then you're really going to struggle. Okay, I was not 100% sure I could get the spring out without disconnecting the upper arm there, but turns out I was able to. So I used that spring compressor tool. I'm plan to make a separate video about that, just using the tool itself. But spoiler, it actually worked really well. These are the old spring that came out of the driver's side, upside down, of course. Again, I don't know what this thing is. It looks like it's designed to space it out a little extra, but I'm not sure. Let me know if you've seen one of these before. I always thought the ride height on this car was a little tall. And while the new spring is a little taller, it looks potentially a little thinner. Yeah. I'll measure it. I'll see if it's actually the same, but regardless, we'll let it settle in once I finally get everything all back together. But we're a long way to go before we get to that. This spring perch, you can see just how perished the rubber is around here. Definitely time to replace these. And I got an entire suspension kit for this car. I don't know if it has control arms, but it definitely has a whole host of parts that come for this car. So a lot of things that are old and perished like this are going to be replaced. Okay, so now that I have the spring out of the driver's side and I have the tension off there, I'm going to move over to the passenger side, do the same thing. I'll probably make the video on this spring compressor tool on that side. Ultimately, the end goal for doing this is I don't want to remove aprons or start cutting away when this is under tension and deforming things. I'm gonna remove the spring there, and that'll give me good access to these fender aprons, and then I'll be able to assess what I want to do with them. Okay, it's the next weekend. I don't have the full weekend to work, just one day, but I got a cup of coffee. Let's see if I can get this other spring out. Okay, working on the passenger side is really just rinse and repeat of the driver's side, except this time I kind of know what I'm doing a little bit more. So I secured the tool in place where the shock mounted, both top and bottom, and greased it up appropriately and just kind of methodically compress the spring. I disconnected the lower perch and the upper control arm so that it would slide out of there, and then was able to release the tension on the spring and wiggle it out all as one unit. As I mentioned, I'll go ahead and create a separate video with all the details of using this tool. It's fairly intuitive, but there are a couple of catches with it that you need to be aware of. But all in all, I'm really thrilled with this tool. I think it worked really well. I at no point felt unsafe. It felt really secure. No surprises. Everything worked as it should. All right, now that I have both springs out of the way, the tension is off of the shock mounts, I'm going to feel a lot better about bracing everything up and starting to dig in to, obviously the places I need to work on. I think I'm going to go ahead and replace the export braces just to hold the shock mounts or the shock towers where they belong. I've got a bunch of scrap metal. I might even drill some holes, run something across the shock towers, and maybe something at the front to hold it in place. And I've got all my measurements from before that I could use to reference again. So that's all goodness. But before I actually start replacing metal, what I'm going to do is remove the brake booster, remove the steering box. I'm going to take a wire wheel, clean everything up just to make sure. We've talked about this in various videos before, but make sure I don't have any structural problems that are hidden underneath all of this funness. And I think once I can do that, then I'll feel confident replacing metal. What I don't want to do is start working on these aprons and then find out later I need to patch something down here, or I'm better off replacing a bigger section of metal. So I kind of learned that the hard way on other parts of this vehicle, but yeah, my Bluetooth speaker's going crazy. But yeah, I'll go ahead and strip everything out, make sure that my plan is a good one and that I'm not going to regret patching things in when I have to later replace bigger swaths of metal. While I was at it, I got the rest of the engine bay wiring out of the way. So I'm almost clear in here. Just the steering, the brake booster, and that's just about it for the rest of the engine bay. I think I'm going to wrap it here next weekend, hopefully, if I get some time. I'll get these other pieces out of the way and get in here with the probably angle grinder and a wire wheel and really just kind of dig in, make sure I don't have any bigger problems that I have to worry about. Everything feels good, but my biggest concern is, looks like someone welded up these shock towers at one point in the future. I want to make sure that there aren't any stress cracks or anything in here, and anything that would warrant a larger replacement. So having a dedicated space to work on this it's kind of a dual-edged sword. The nice thing is I can leave everything like this and I don't have to worry about it. Everything will be exactly where I left it next time I come out to the garage. The downside is now I've got a mess that I'm probably not going to clean up anytime soon. Okay, if you're still with me, thank you so much for watching. Glad to get the springs out of the way, and then we're going to press forward on this engine bay.